All right, so this is the first episode of the Go High Level podcast. We'll just call it that for now. And so in this episode, we have the young people that are killing the game in the Go High Level space. As far as I know, we all know each other in the community. So just thought it would be great to bring these two on the podcast. So this is Eunice and this is Tommy here at the bottom. You can see their names. And so we're just going to talk about Go High Level, our journey, strategies we use, and all that good stuff. So, whoever wants to go first, y'all can do just a little brief introduction, then we can hop into some questions.
Yep. I'm Eunice. I'm 19 years old, currently at university. But I've got my own agency as well. Started back in September of 2024, so that's not too long ago. Been at it until now. I'm also balancing a part-time job, but my agency is obviously my main focus. And I'm currently at I think like 16, 17 clients at the moment. So yeah.
My name's Tommy. I'm 21 from Australia and I'm working a part-time job and then scaling my Go High Level agency on the side. And yeah, I think I'm at about eight or nine clients now.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's great. So, first question I have is, how did y'all both get started with Go High Level? Did y'all find someone on YouTube? Would the ad pop up, or what really happened? What did y'all see that made y'all go ahead and start and Go High Level?
Yeah, so this was like back in 2023. This was ages ago. I was pretty much looking at ways to make money online. And then like I saw SMMA, which is I'm pretty sure like you both are very familiar with it. But I took this one free course by Max Person. He was like recommending to use Go High Level for like running the classic Facebook ads and getting like the follow-ups all sent on Go High Level. Uh, I've been using Go High Level since then. But just yeah, that helped me, understand how to go about Go High Level, sort of play around with the website builder, that sort of stuff. And since then, I've been using it till now.
Yeah, and so same sort of story as me. I think I first found out about Go High Level a year before I actually started it. Um, from a guy called Damien Player, and he was just showing Go High Level. And I hadn't really seen much of the make money online content, but I was like, wow, like this program looks pretty good. That seems like a pretty solid way to make money online. And then yeah, I just kept Go High Level in the back of my mind. And then eventually I was at a point where I was like, okay, let's get this started. And yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's always typically the way that people find out is some, content creator was making content on it and then they can go ahead and get started with it.
For
Um,
sure.
so what got y'all into marketing? Was it anything in specific? Did y'all have that feeling in y'all's heart of, hey, I want to help businesses? Did someone inspire you to get into marketing? How did that whole process go?
Dude, it was literally just from like my experience with like doing SMMA in past. So like I'd be running ads, but I'd also be like building websites, also doing a bit of like database reactivation as well. I used to do a little bit of that, so that kind of helped me, I guess, with my current agency as well. But I also understood like the whole local business sort of aspect of things because I did like car washing before. Also, like I did talk to a lot of local businesses in my area because I'd have a bunch of like friends as fathers and mothers that own their own local businesses. So yeah, I was kind of familiar with all, I guess, like the people around me that were all running these businesses. And I guess yeah, I mean like running this business, this SWAS software with an agency, with a service website, sorry, software with a service, yeah. So getting into that, I feel that is like really purposeful as well, because you are actually helping these local businesses make more money, but you have to remember these are also people at the end of the day. You're helping them feed their family, so it just feels like really purposeful. That's what another reason why I got into it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't say anything really inspired me to get into marketing. I definitely just started it in that pursuit to make money online. But as Eunice said at the end there, it is obviously fulfilling helping business owners being able to scale their business and being able to bring them in more work and set them up with online services that they wouldn't be able to set up themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see how y'all all, feel that. That's one of the biggest, fulfillment things about Go High Level is that you're literally helping businesses make more money. And obviously, depending on the business owner, if they have family or not, whatever the case may be, you're helping out that family and helping them succeed in life just by helping them with their marketing. And like Tommy said, some people don't know how to do it. And so you being there to be able to help them, that's really a big impact that you can have on some businesses. So what are the niches that y'all serve? Is there, I know mine specifically is home services. I don't know if y'all go after the same, but what y'all's niches?
So mine, like I work with salons, aestheticians, and med spas at the moment.
Yeah, I'm working with home services, contractors or tradies, as we'd say in Australia. But yeah, I found those guys to be the easiest to get in contact with and yeah, pitch them on the services. I have tried a little bit with beauty spas and med spas, but I haven't had much luck.
Yeah, those are not saying there's anything wrong with those niches that y'all are serving. But a lot of people in the go high level space, which is cool to hear that how y'all are able to work around that. They say that, you're always talking to a receptionist or you can't get directly to the business owner. So it's hard. But the fact that y'all two, are able to get around that. And if y'all can touch a little bit on that too, of how y'all were able to bypass that receptionist or whoever was on the phone.
Yeah, so like when I used to cold call at least, now I do more of like DMs and Facebook groups and stuff like that. But when I used to cold call, I'd always like leave a note, or even like a voicemail. And usually it is like the actual business owner picking the voicemail up and calling me back, to check in with me and, see who it is. And then obviously I'd like, I'd have a conversation with them, get them booked in. But it's just like basic objections as well, with trying to get past the gatekeeper. Obviously like things like is this certain person around? I have something to tell them, blah blah blah. And you know, you asking the receptionist obviously when would the business owner be, like in office, obviously to get that time to call back and I guess get them booked for a meeting later on.
Yeah, and just to clarify, James, I tried calling out to the beauty spas and med spas, but I yeah had a bit of difficulty with dealing with the gatekeepers and then not being able to speak with the business owners. So I just pivoted and stayed calling the home services guys. And obviously, there's no gatekeepers. You can talk straight to the business owner, and yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you were saying you worked with the spa people and then you started seeing like a drop off and the owners being on the phone and then you transition. So yeah, I get it
yeah,
now.
no, I couldn't even get on the phone with them.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Eunice, you were able to get past the gatekeeper, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy, you with going to the home services, and obviously that's why I do it too, is because their phone numbers typically listed on the Google My Business page, Yelp page, whatever it is. Um, how would you say is your best pitch to get them interested? Especially since you're talking to the business owner, right away, you're talking to the lead person. How do you go about that?
Yeah, so as I've refined my pitch over time, what I'm doing now when I cold call them is I just ask them directly, like, hey, could you guys handle more work at the moment? Or hey, I help tradies bring in more work online. Could you guys handle any more jobs now or in the next couple months? And you obviously just asking them directly, like, could you handle more work or not? And you're not really trying to shove a pitch down anyone's throat or but yeah, I found it good because the people that genuinely could handle more work think, yeah, okay, I could, and then they're willing to learn more. But the guys that are booked out obviously obviously don't. And I would say I have been getting a decent amount of leads that are saying, yeah, they could handle more work.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's great. You're kind of going in there with more of a genuine approach because I always say this to people as well. Whenever you're just calling them and having a script and it sounds like you're reading and you just have the same thing that's being said to every call and you sound like a robot, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to want to talk to you. So you're just going to, hang up. But you coming in there and asking, hey, could you use some more business right now? Of course, every business owner wants business. So you're getting them to say yes, which is a big thing in the cold calling world. So, Eunice, you in specific, what would you say is your average? I guess you could say prompt or what you use because I know you told me that you use Facebook a lot to get a lot of business. So, how do you go about that?
Yeah, so it's normally like I'd say that I'm offering like a free website, I guess. So normally like the first person that messages me gets the free website. But if they've already claimed that and someone else messages me, then I say, okay, someone's already claimed the free website. However, I'm willing to do, um, you know, a discount for you where there's no setup fee at all. You only have to pay like a hosting or maintenance fee for the website, and usually you get on a call, and it's pretty easy for me to close from there.
Oh, okay, nice. So whenever you make that first post, are you really giving away the free website? Is that what you
Yeah, yeah,
said?
yeah. So
Okay,
I'm giving the
and
free website
uh,
to the first person that actually like responds, and
yeah,
then anyone else from there is I guess like discounted, so there's no setup fees, but they still do pay like that £97 a month
hmm
for the website. Yeah.
okay, yeah, and then so with that free website, you do. Like it's literally completely free, just no cost at all. You're literally giving it to them for free. You just had the sub account existing.
Yeah, so for the first person
hmm
for the first
Yeah,
person that
for the first
messages me,
person. Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, wow, man, that's crazy. I've never heard of that, and that really would gain some traction on Facebook. Doing that. So that makes a lot of sense to do that. Wow, might have to try that myself. Um, so yeah, what would y'all say is y'all's first win using Go High Level? Like, what was your first deal? How did that happen?
Yeah,
So
so
go ahead, Tommy. Yeah.
yeah, so I used to work a full-time job at like a mechanic shop, and I had started doing Go High Level, and I was looking for my first client, and the guy across the road had like a window tint shop. So I went over and pitched him, and he ended up connecting me with. Turns out he used to be a web designer as well, and he ended up connecting me with one of his current clients, and I remade their website. And then I also remade one of his other old clients' websites as well. So from that one in-person outreach, I ended up getting two clients, and that covered the cost of my Go High Level subscription from then on, which is pretty good.
It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
So for
yeah,
me,
yeah. I was gonna say you can go ahead, Eunice.
yeah. So for me, it was so one lady like reached out to me on Facebook, got on a call with her for like a whole 2 hours. It was really long. It was a good conversation though. Kind of talking about life as well. In the UK, we call that waffling. So you kind of like talk too much and whatever. But that's actually good because it was building rapport with her. She had a lot of trust in, I guess, me, and what I could do for her. And then yeah, I just closed her on a very simple website for £97 a month. So that's like $125 a month. And she's still my client till today, and she's like my highest paying client. So turned out
hmm
well for me. And that was like during the first week and a half of starting my agency.
Oh, okay,
And
nice. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
and so you said that she reached out to you. How did she come across your page? Were you like posting content?
Oh no, so it was just like a Facebook group post. I would literally be holding
Okay.
up, I'm not sure if I have it right now, but I do actually. So it's like a sign like this, where it would be, and if you can see, it's kind of blurred. but it would say like websites for estheticians, and I'd smile on it, and then I'd post it, have like an offer in the caption, and I'd have like a whole bunch of leads just messaging me. Like every post I had would depends on the group really, but some of them would have like 20 comments.
Dude, that's
Like people just
insane.
yeah, generally there was that's when things like really picked off at the beginning. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, they'd have like 20 comments. People start flooding my inbox as well in the message requests, and she just happened to be the first one, who's also like the highest paying client till now. So it's pretty good.
Dude, that's absolutely amazing. I've never seen someone use that strategy. That's really, really good. And I'm sure they can tell that you're, that you're younger, and so it seems like you're, hungry, looking for clients. So,
Yeah, exactly.
that's real great real good that you did that. And both of y'all. So, Eunice, what was your first client sign up monthly rate? 125?
100, yeah, 125. So that's like 97 pounds a month. So 125, yeah,
Okay.
dollars.
And Tommy, you?
My first client was 150 USD a month.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, so that's a big thing that I think people struggle with in Go High Level is that whenever they first start their agency, which all content creators say it, hey, get started with your free trial, $400 a month, $500 a month. They set these kind of ideas that you're going to be able to get those high monthly paying clients when you first sign up. But really, all in all, when people sign up for Go High Level, they try and use that method and it doesn't work. Really what you need to do, and I'm sure you all can be in agreement with it, is that you need to start off lower with the monthly rates and make the offer still good enough, or really over offer, to be honest, for your first few clients. Get them through the door, learn how to fulfill the service, learn building the website, learn setting up the automations, giving them the chat widget on their website, designing that. Really, really hunker down and learn how to fulfill the service before moving forward, and then build your way up to start doing those $400 a month, $500 a month, and all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure y'all can kind of see that yourselves and being and how you should be able to, how you should do that, I should say.
For sure,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I would even I would even recommend to people that are getting started that don't have a lot of sales experience, like they're
Hmm.
starting from nothing. I'd even recommend making a website or two for free to,
Right.
learn that client communication, learn how to build the website and build out the account and offer it in exchange for a testimonial because you're going to gain so much confidence from doing that for a client and learning to build it. So then when you want to go and sell it, you're going to sound a lot more convicted and confident when you're asking for money.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
For
just like
sure.
to add to that as well. Like
Go ahead.
as Tommy said, like giving away a website for free is probably like really important, especially in the beginning, because a lot of these like leads do ask for like previous work, and if you don't have it, that's just the deal gone. That's it's make or break.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. And so, like Tommy was saying, having those testimonials, that's a really big thing. Especially if you're not going the Google My Business page route, having testimonials on your website, that's going to be really, really great for your agency. I know a lot of people don't want to start Google My Business pages because you have to use like an address and all that stuff. You don't want your home address, on Google and all that stuff. So, getting those testimonials and doing some for free. Like my first client was $97 a month, but the ones after that were at $50 a month, and they're still my client to this day. Um, but they were happy with the service. They keep on paying you. You get practice building the websites and fulfilling the service. So those are the real big things right there. And the next question is, how are you using Go High Level and kind of making yourself different from other agencies? Obviously, Go High Level, you're going to be different than a lot of agencies itself just by the features. But is there anything in specific, that you tell your clients on Zoom calls of like, hey, this is how we're different?
Should I go first? Yeah.
Oh, either one.
Okay, so for me, like features wise, it's like more or less the same as like what other people are doing. So like the classic like websites, automations, and stuff like that. Although I do offer like AI chat widgets, which I'm not too sure if many people are kind of offering them now. But that's like one of the, I guess, services that kind of sounds cool, really easy to set up,
Hmm.
but it's also like really valuable. You get a lot of leads coming through the website through that. But one thing that I would say like does differentiate my agency from a lot of others is like my just like my shared communication with them. I do use WhatsApp, so I'm always like messaging my clients, checking on them, and they feel like they've got someone that actually understands what they want on the website. Like there's this marketing guy, which is me, always there to help them. So that's good, and as a result, they're still clients to this day.
Yeah, and then in my agency, I do sell the pretty standard Go High Level stack, like the same basic features as everyone else. But I'd say that one thing that differentiates my service is I'm giving all my clients like a full 15 to 20 page website for a really low rate. So, they have like a service page built out for all of their different services, a location page built out for all of their locations. And instead of having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a full custom website, I deliver that to them for a, a cheap upfront cost and then that monthly retainer. And I'm confident that the services are going to deliver. And that's why I'm willing to offer them that custom website off the bat without that upfront cost.
Hmm. Most definitely. Yeah, and so I think like if you compare us Go High Level agencies to things like GoDaddy, where that's a hosting domain service, where you can get one of their free websites, or it's a low cost regardless. But that Wix, you think of the big companies like Town Square, stuff like that. These businesses, they're charging them $200 a month, $400 a month, at least Town Square specifically, I mean, which is one of the biggest companies in the US that do websites, just for a website, like alone. They don't give them any software, they don't do anything like that. Um, and that just goes for other companies too. There's so many big ones in the US and my market specifically, and they're just charging them that much just for a website. So whenever you can come in and offer these different things, you know, they're going to be more than happy to pay you, and especially if you get them at a lower rate. So, and even let's just say, for instance, GoDaddy, they're paying maybe $10 a month, I assume, for a website. I think that's the rate with that. But it's just a basic website. There's no SEO on it. They don't get any features. So you going in there and charging a little bit more. It's probably more than $10 a month, to be honest, for a website with GoDaddy. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but you just charging $97 a month, getting a full-on website, on-page SEO, even just a Google review automation and a booking calendar. That alone is going to be so much more value rather than just going with one of those basic plain AI, website builders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in my case, like every single one of my clients has an unlimited page website. That's what I offer them. So they
Hmm.
have free reign of what they want added on, and that's just like really good for like I guess the perceived value.
For sure, for sure.
I was just going to add as well
Hmm.
that obviously the website is a very core element to the package, but I'd say that you're giving, all the services and all the features that you're giving to the business owners are arguably more important than the website. Like having the missed call text back so they don't have to worry about every single lead. They don't have to worry about answering the phone to every single lead because they know that that lead's getting looked after, or the systems to help bring in Google reviews and the systems to help reactivate their old customers to bring fresh work through the door. I think those services are arguably more beneficial to the business owner than the website.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. Like giving them a Google review automation. Mine in specific, the one that I give them, if the client or customer chooses above or chooses 4 to 5 stars, then it sends them the link. But if they do anything below that, then it takes them to pretty much like a redirect form, where they can leave feedback and things like that. That's personally how I do it. But getting Google reviews is just as important as having a website, in my opinion. If you don't have a website in 2025, you kind of look sketchy, but really reviews in itself, like they're really, really impactful for what they can have, for the effect they can have on a Google My Business page. But I definitely get what you're saying, Tommy. Because you can go without a website, but if you have tons of Google reviews, that's gonna outweigh the no website, in my opinion, because these are actual people saying, their experience with the business. So definitely a great point there. I like that. That was good. And so, kind of another follow-up question to like automations and stuff like that. What would y'all say is the best feature in Go High Level for your clients? Google review, automation, calendar booking, social media planner. What would y'all say is the best one?
I'd say two. There's two. It would probably be like the chat widget, which is like mainly where the leads coming through the website. It's collecting a whole
Hmm.
bunch of them because you can see where the leads are coming through, either the chat widget or like the contact form that I have also on the contact us page. And like 80% of them, 70-ish%, coming through that little small chat widget that's in the bottom left of the screen. That's a killer, honestly. And I'd say the other one would probably be like workflows. Um, just because it saves me, I guess, a lot of time and them a lot of time. Not having to send manual follow-up messages to every single lead they have. So that's just amazing as well.
For sure.
That's that's interesting that it's interesting to look at uh two different two different like audience demographics, I guess. Like what's that? That's with like beauty spas. You got 80% of the leads through the web chat.
Mm,
But as
yeah,
for like my home service clients, his customers that are going through his website, majority of them go through the contact form. That'd be interesting to like, look at. It's probably like an age demographic, because I assume younger people are going through the beauty spas as opposed to like older people that own houses.
yeah,
Yeah, most
I
definitely.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure. Go ahead.
my I think my best feature, I'd have to say the missed call text back. I reckon that's what helps my clients out the most. Um, because yeah, a lot of them are just one man bands. Like they're the only bloke working on site. It's just them in their business, and they can't answer every single phone call. So I've seen a lot that people will try to call them, and then the missed call text back automation gets fired off, and then that lead that was trying to contact them sends through all their information. I need this done. Here's my address, etc.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, the missed call text back is definitely a helpful feature. Literally, out of all of my clients, I try to pitch it so much just because it's helpful. I try to mention it at least, and a lot of them don't want to take that leap of getting a new business phone number. But whenever they do, the clients that do have that auto missed call text back, that's literally their favorite feature is the auto missed call text back.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to get people to sign up on that. But for sure, auto missed call text back is definitely nice. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, are y'all charging a setup fee? And if you are or if you aren't, and what's usually your close on the deals? Like what's the monthly rate for it that you're closing these people at?
So I first of all I have three plans. So I've got the $97 a month plan, 297 and the 497. In my case, a lot of them do go for the $97 a month plan just for the basic website, missed call text back, all the other basic services that I have. Um, in terms of setup fees, it really depends on the client. I kind of like gauge beforehand if they are sort of like a client that can afford that setup fee or not. But the setup fees that I've charged before are anywhere between like 400 to 800-ish sort of pounds. I'm not sure what the equivalence is in like US dollars. I think that's like 500 to $1,000.
Hmm.
Um, but usually I do like to just get them on the basic $97 a month plan. And most of my clients are on that anyway. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And so with my pricing, I've kind of been experimenting over the whole time I've done Go High Level. So I used to charge a setup fee and then a lower monthly fee. and the setup fee would range anywhere from like 1,000 to 3,000 AUD. I think majority of my clients signed on at that 1,500 AUD mark. And then as for the monthly fee, it ranged from like 154 AUD up to 208 AUD. But I believe majority of my clients were paying me like 198 AUD. And now I'm trying out a new pricing model. So it's a much lower setup fee, but a higher monthly fee. So it's a $500 setup fee and then 476 AUD a month. So yeah, they're not paying it, it's a lower barrier entry for the business owner to work with me. But yeah, over time it's obviously better for revenue.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
guess they're instead of paying that massive setup fee at the start, it's split out and it's integrated across the timeline of them being with my business. And I guess it also comes back on me because I have to deliver a good service so they want to stay on.
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Yeah. Oh, you were gonna touch on that, Eunice?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's what I completely agree with you. You know, the more that you're charging, especially off, the jump with these businesses, they're going to expect a lot back. Whereas if you don't charge any setup fee, you just take it month by month, or if you charge a really low, I guess you could say considerably low setup fee, then they're going to be more lenient. But if you're charging $1,000, they want that $1,000 back in some type of way, versus a $200 setup fee, whatever the case may be. But that's great how y'all were able to close that. I have yet to close anyone on a setup fee, so that's good y'all were able to do that. Um, what if y'all had any integrations? I don't know if y'all have any with y'all's clients, but what would you say is like the most helpful? Whether that's QuickBooks, I know that's a big one for me. Love the QuickBooks integration for my clients. But is there any in specific that y'all know that y'all use?
Yeah, I'd say probably like Facebook, just because like Facebook and Instagram, just because it like sort of merges the inboxes together, and so
Hmm.
they usually use my app to communicate with their clients. For them, it's just easier. And I'd also say Google My Business page, just like linking the Google My Business to Go High Level makes it just a whole load easier to manage it and send out like reviews, like review requests and stuff like that, and just track like the trend in the average Google reviews in the past month. Yeah, that's something my clients have found really, really valuable.
Yeah, I haven't really experimented with any sort of external integrations, but just adding off what Eunice said, probably the Google My Business integration. It's good being able to send out those automated review requests, and then it's also good that Go High Level automatically responds to those review requests as well. So that takes that job off the business owner and off me having to respond to every Google review.
Hmm. Most definitely. Yeah. I actually had a client speaking of that feature that didn't like it. I had it turned on. Usually I like to turn it on just in general for businesses, just because it helps. And the Google actually likes to see whenever you respond to reviews. So I turned it on for most of them. And one guy, he actually complained about it. And then 2 weeks later, he started getting a bunch of reviews and he called me and said, "Can we turn it back on?" Just because of how easy and efficient, it is. And the responses actually look great. I'm sure you've looked at them before, and they actually look really, really good. So what would you say is the hardest part of Go High Level? Is it the sales process, the onboarding process, client communication? What would y'all say is the hardest thing?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say, all right, so I reckon for the hardest thing for someone getting started with Go High Level, I'll answer it like that. Is that kind of what you're asking? Or
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, in whatever way.
yeah, I'll answer it like that. I think the hardest thing for someone starting Go High Level is you have to build up all these skills at once. You know, there's like 5 or 6 different skills you have to build up. You obviously have to be able to make the websites and set up the accounts. You need to be able to outreach and find clients. You also need to um, be able to close and sell those clients. You obviously have to manage your time good and be able to put hours into it. So I think that's probably the hardest thing. Someone starting Go High Level, you have to build up a bunch of different skills at once to, I guess, bring it all together.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say the same too as well. Like, obviously not speaking from my perspective because I am like by now I am like quite well versed with GoHighLevel, but like when I started out, I remember I was looking at the software and it was like a bit daunting. There's a lot of different like sections and it can get quite overwhelming. So I think the best thing to do is take to YouTube, learn like exactly how each of these sections work. Like for example, workflows. I do think you should probably be spending a lot of your time understanding like how the triggers work, and sort of how to go about like I guess building out an automation because when something does go wrong, you need to know how to fix it, and that just looks good on you as well, especially when you get a client, you being able to fix the problem that they may have really quickly, I guess just helps retain that client.
Nice. Yeah. Th those are all good points. Definitely for sure, like I was saying in the beginning, it's going to be tough on this, I guess you could say sales side, the cold calling and all that stuff. But once you get past that, it's pretty much bread and butter from there. You just have to keep on going after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that as well, like anyone that is going to get started with Go High Level, as we touched on before, it's definitely worth doing some free work or some cheap work to get some testimonials because you'll be able to leverage that a lot. And then also just to get confident with cold calling as soon as you can, because that's obviously a great way to find leads and it is building up your sales process with every cold call you do, which, yeah, something you need. So yeah, I definitely think doing cold calling when you start is a good thing, and then also building a few free websites would be able to
Yep,
help you get through that beginning stage.
Yeah, for
most
sure.
definitely. Um, so what would y'all say? This is a pretty good, pretty good question, but what would y'all say is the hardest part of building this business and specifically Go High Level at, well, our age? We're pretty much like all pretty close in age. So what would y'all say is the hardest thing?
I think it's probably like on the sales call. Initially they see you and they're like, oh, you're pretty young. So I guess first impressions is I guess is not the best, but because I do have a baby face, obviously. But once they hear me and like I start speaking, building rapport with them, then only then I start building trust with them. But usually like on the call, they get really familiar with me. We start speaking really naturally, and eventually I do end up closing on the call. Um, so I wouldn't say like age is an excuse not to start, if you know what I
Hmm.
mean. Um, but if I could like flip the question, the good thing about actually um being this age is that you have a lot of free time,
Yep.
and like to be working on your agency, but also like if you do have a part-time job, it helps a lot because you're not paying for rent. You're most likely living with your parents at the moment. You're probably going to school. So you can save up quite a lot of money to like pay for GoHighLevel. Start understanding it and I guess get your business going. Doesn't really take a lot of money to start your agency.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I guess my answer to that, I'd say I'd say one of the hardest things for myself and something that I had to remove to allow me to grow more. I used to work a full-time job, and that obviously took up a lot of my time. And every hour outside of my full-time job, I would be thinking, okay, how can I push this agency forward? What can I do to push the agency forward? But ultimately, being 9 to 5, 5 days a week wasn't good for growing the agency. I think you need a couple days off during the week where you can cold call, or a few days off during the week where you've got that 9 to 5 window off. So once I stopped working my full-time job and went to a part-time job, that's when I really saw good growth, because I had a, extra hours in my week to be able to throw back into the business. So
Hmm.
that was definitely one of the biggest constraint of mine, being tied up working a full-time job. It it got a lot easier, and I saw a lot of progress once I had more free time in my schedule to be able to put into this.
Yeah, yeah, was definitely, and that I had to say, like, just exactly like Eunice said it. A lot of people, even whenever I'm cold calling, I call them and then they'll say, they might not be interested, whatever it is, and they'll say, "All right, nice talking to you, buddy," or they say something like that, and pretty much saying that I know you're young, type of deal. Um, so I mean, it is what it is, but definitely not something to withhold you from starting your agency. I like how you said that, Eunice, because you can definitely work around it. That's not really a big deal. I mean, people in sales jobs, they can really range from anywhere. I mean, here in the US, there could be car salesmen at whatever age, there's young, trying to make money. So that's not really too big of a concern. It's just something that's part of the game. And what would y'all say is um, y'all's motivation? Is it time freedom or time freedom or money freedom? Like, what's y'all's goal with all this?
Okay, for me, it would probably be, I guess, with money, like having more free time is a byproduct of that. And you also having like freedom of location as well. Something that I do want to do in the future is obviously like work and travel at the same time. But also, have enough money where you can support your parents, and friends, and people that you love. That's like the pull factors that are like wanting me to get them. But also, like, there's push factors as well. So I guess I don't want to be working a 9 to 5 when I'm older, because um, it does use up a lot of your time. You don't enjoy life as much, I guess, and you don't have that freedom of location. You are bound to just, like, I guess, like the office and your house back and forth. Can get quite stressful because I've done a 9 to 5 before. I used to work full time before I had this part-time job. Um, yeah, but I'd say, like, not wanting to have a normal job and have that freedom of location and time is probably the most important thing for me.
Yeah, pretty much just to double down on everything Eunice said. Um, I think having more money is obviously great, but I think the bigger benefit is having time freedom, and not not having your income directly locked to the amount of hours you're working. I think the biggest benefit from a business like this is, it's up to you whether you want to work all week, or if you want to relax a bit more and spend a bit more time down at the beach. I think that's the real benefit behind it, that time freedom. And you've got extra time to put into other areas of your life and other skills you want to build up. Um, Obviously, as well, money is super important, and it'd be great to have extra money to, live life more on your own terms, and, support your parents, be able to give your mum money every week so she doesn't have to work as much. That's definitely a driving factor as well. Uh, and yeah, just like ultimately long-term goals, being able to travel, being able to travel short term or long term, and not have to be so worried on, oh, I have a savings account that's running out of money. The fact that you're going to get paid every month from your clients is great because yeah, you can pretty much go and travel anywhere around the world, and you're still getting that income, and you can still outreach and keep moving the business forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to add to that as well. Like,
Hmm.
especially with this business model, it is something where you work on like a client sub account for a bit, get them onboarded, get their website set up and everything. And once that's up, they can just start paying you month in, month out, like without you having to really do much, I guess. I guess the most you'd have to do would probably be like check up on them and fix anything that they may have issues with, but it's like really low maintenance. So that just allows you to have a lot of time free. And I guess if you did want to travel, you have plenty of time to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that those are the two biggest things for me. Also, is the time freedom, and then also the money that comes in from that. Because I mean, you can have all the time, you can have time, but if you're not making money, then you can't do anything with your time. So they kind of
Right.
go
Yeah.
hand in hand. So this is why I like Go High Level, and their models or the typical model with Go High Level is you charge them monthly, and that way, like I'm on a trip right now in Mexico, and I'm still getting paid, even though I haven't closed the deal today, yesterday, whatever it was. I didn't close the deal, but I'm still making money while I'm over here. And at a normal job, if you're working a 9 to 5, obviously you have to be there at the job, or whatever the case may be, or you're limited to how much you can make for that day, for that 8 hour shift. Whereas if I close two deals tomorrow, I made more than, let's say, the average person working a 9 to 5. Um, so it just kind of, to begin this, I just stuttered. There's kind of like a big difference between the two of 9 to 5 and then having your own thing going. Just because there's so much things that you can do within your own business, not just Go High Level, just in general. If you own a business, you can really do whatever you want, and that's one of the biggest aspects for me. I had a normal job at one time, and you mean to tell me, like, I believe I was 18 at the time. Um, I have to ask for someone to go on break, or I have to wait for permission to go on break. Just
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
that feeling of, it feels like you're in school. You have to ask to go to the restroom, whatever it is. Like, that's not really something that I want for my life, me personally. So just having those different determining factors, even touching on what Tommy said, giving your mom money, taking care of the people that, you love, that's obviously going to be a big driving factor as well. So great points there.
And just to add as well before we move
Hmm.
on to the next question,
Yeah.
sure in the beginning and even now in my stages, it can be such a grind to, call all these leads, do all these calls, try and sign a client. And then once you sign them, you got to build out the website, build out the account. And it's such a grind to get that client. But then once you've got that client, it's so worth it because they are paying you every month as long as you're delivering a good service. So that's always something I think back to. Like, sure, you have to put in all this effort to get that client, but then once you have them, there's there's not a better feeling than, you know, you're out you're out relaxing on you're out relaxing on like I don't know, this probably sounds weird to you guys, but like you're on an island, like, there's a few islands around where I
Yeah.
live, right? So like the other day I was there on the island just relaxing, sitting on the beach, we went snorkeling and yeah, just hanging out, just being present, not worrying about anything. And then, checking your phone, you've got a payment or two, like not a better feeling
Hmm.
Yeah.
than getting paid
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, most
from doing
definitely.
work for like 6 months ago. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I talk to people all the time in the Go High Level space, and they tell me they think I'm joking, like whenever they see how high my agency has come, like how many clients I have, and they say, "You really sell websites at $97 a month?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because like Tommy's saying, you literally set it up one time, and then you get paid after that. I'm not going to try and discount a business for them not having as much money because I love to work with local businesses. And so I'm not going to like be like, oh no, $97 a month, that's not worth my time. Well, especially in my position, since I have VAs, a full website build is about $80. So I'm not profitable in the, well, I mean, there's some money left over, but you're not too profitable in that first month. But after that, it's literally free money getting deposited into your account. So, people not getting over their pride and saying, "Oh no, I can only close for $200 a month." It doesn't really make sense. Why would you leave money on the table whenever you set it up one time and then you're going to get those deposits? It all pays off in the end, most definitely. It just bothers me sometimes when people say that. I don't take it in any hard way. I'm just like, man, you're literally walking away from money.
Yeah.
Yeah, most
And
definitely. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say I was at a point where I was like, I want to get to this next checkpoint. Like I wanted to sign some more clients, and I was stuck there for a bit, and I was like, heck, I'm just gonna sign people on for whatever price I can. Like I think I dropped my monthly fees a bit,
Hmm.
and yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna sign on as many clients as I can. Who cares if I'm not getting that full price? At least it's money in, at least it's getting me closer to my goals.
Right. Yeah, that's great. And again, like we talked about earlier in the call, people just need to get over that. I don't understand why people are so hung up on charging these higher monthly rates, especially starting out. Later down the line, okay, I could see that, but starting out, that's going to be like a big thing that's holding you back from growing pretty quickly. But like what you were saying goes into our next question, dealing with doubt that comes along with it. I'm sure y'all have had times where no one's answering the phone, you haven't closed the deal in a while and you're kind of feeling down, but how do you push past that? I know me personally, whenever I'm cold calling for the day, and most of the time I average like a booking call a day whenever I try for the whole day that I work. And I'm thinking about giving up. It's like I've been calling since 9 a.m. It's 3 p.m. I'm not gonna get a booking for today. And then I keep calling for like maybe another hour, and I always every single time get a booking. So that's kind of like how I view it is just keep on going because you're gonna hear a lot of no's. But my question to y'all, how do y'all push past that doubt that sometimes comes in y'all's mind?
Yeah, like I guess you just have to accept that it's part of the game. Sometimes I remind myself like why am I even doing this in the first place? Obviously it's that dream outcome of being financially free, having that freedom of location and time, and obviously providing for your family. But then I also think of this one thing where it's like there's a couple of videos out there on YouTube where it's zooming in on like a person and then it keeps zooming out, zooming out, zooming out. You start to see your
Hmm.
city, then it's like your country, then it's the world, then it's like you're now like looking at the universe, right? And
Hmm.
your worries aren't like they don't really mean anything, if you know what I mean. There's bigger problems out there, so like you being rejected by someone on the cold call like means nothing, honestly. Just keep on pushing and you're gonna get bookings eventually. It's not a big deal. It's just part of the game. It's just something you have to get used to if you do want to reach your goals. So yeah, that's how I at least I guess like visualize it.
Yeah, and just to add to the question, I think, I mean, a lot of things in business and life, I think a lot of it all comes down to mindset and having a good mindset and how you navigate situations like that. Like, oh, I don't want to cold call today. Oh, I'm not getting any clients. Um, I wanted to get a client these past 2 weeks. I haven't got a client. I think it all comes down to mindset at the end of the day, because that's the only thing that you can control. Like, you can put in the inputs, and that's obviously the biggest thing. You have to put in the inputs, but you can't really control the outcome. You can to an extent, but you can't really. So the only real thing you can control is your mindset, and I guess building a good mindset around, you know, let's say I'm doing 100 cold calls today. Every cold call I do is one step closer to a yes. I don't know when I'm going to get that yes, but every cold call I'm doing, any one of these 100 businesses I'm calling could say yes to a meeting. They could need my services. We could be sitting down on a call today and, I could sign them. Like yesterday, I jumped on and did a cold calling session, and I hadn't done cold calls in I think 2 weeks because or a week I was doing some website building for these new clients I got. Anyway, I was like, man, I really don't want to cold call. Like, fuck this shit. Um, and then I think like five dials in, the guy was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, and then booked him in a meeting, and just like, yeah, I just got so fired up from getting that meeting booked, and then that just pushes you through the rest of your cold calls as well.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Once you get that yes, like let's say you're cold calling for the day and it's 11 a.m. You get that yes for that day, which I usually try and average a booking demo a day whenever I am cold calling that day. If you get that booking early, you're like, man, you feel on top of you just want to keep going. That's kind of how it is with closing clients. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. Y'all close a client and it's like, man, what's next? Like you're just waiting for the next
Oh,
thing
for sure.
to come up. I like to say it's like a drug, which I've never done drugs in my life, but I'm assuming, that's how it works. You're just waiting for the next time. But so with y'all, are y'all planning on building a team like of VAs? Me personally, I have VAs. I want to stack it up more, my agency, get more clients before I really start, white labeling it completely, like where I have my own support team where they answer the phones, all that stuff. I want to stack and build my agency more before I start doing that. But in the meantime, I do have VAs. So I'm just curious, do y'all have any VAs or do y'all plan on it? What's y'all's goals with that?
So no, not currently. I don't have any VAs currently. But the only sort of VAs that I would consider like hiring would probably be to outsource my like service delivery, so building
Hmm.
websites, because that is probably, I guess, the most time consuming task in my agency. So if I can outsource that and focus more on outreach, I'll probably be earning a lot more money. So that's probably something to consider. The
Hmm.
idea is just like if you can outsource, you get to a point where you're making enough money where you can outsource like almost everything. Almost everything. I say almost because it is good to like keep things in control and
Yeah.
obviously check in on your VAs and stuff like that. But because it is your agency, but
Hmm.
if I can outsource as much as possible, it gives you more like free time to do what you want.
Yeah, so I I don't have any hires at the moment, but I'm going to hire a VA to do service delivery for me. Um, Probably the next client I sign, I'm going to jump on and find someone or trial a couple different VAs and try and find someone that can make the websites for me. And then probably after that, I'd probably like to get someone in Australia to do some cold calls for me on
Hmm.
a commission basis. Because, yeah, you're obviously reaching out to twice as many leads and you'll be able to scale a lot quicker.
Yeah, most definitely. Those are two great things to pass on to other people, the fulfillment side, and then obviously the outreach side. I actually brought on VAs pretty early. Like I'm pretty sure earlier than like the average person and go high level. And that is one of the biggest recommendations I can make. I know it's scary, giving people access to go high level, but they actually have toggles where you can turn them off and on, and you don't really have to worry too much about that. But also just the spending the money aspect because you're paying go high level, you're paying these subscriptions, and you're finally getting some money back, and you're like, oh man, I have to spend this again. So I can definitely see where that comes from, but it opens up so much more time. And also, these people, they know SEO. You send them a good YouTube tutorial. If they don't know, then they'll learn it. These people are more than willing to learn. And so opening up that time for yourself to be able to outreach is really, really good. And so another question I have is at what point did you say, like, did you realize, like, I can really make this work? Was it after your first client, you got them signed up and you were like, man, I'm ready to go. Like, this is really something I can make money off of. Or what would y'all say?
I'd probably say it was after, I'd say after my third client. It's like once you break even, then you're like, okay, it's only up from here. Any client that I sign from now on is just like profit. Um, so yeah, that's good because I guess it's like less pressure on you.
Hmm.
And like if beforehand you may be thinking going into this like I might lose money here. I might pay for my Go High Level subscription. I may not sign any clients, and I'll just end up losing like $300 a month. But as soon as you break even, it's like the best feeling ever. It's like there's only upside from here, and if I just keep pushing, signing more clients, then I'm gonna get closer to my goals.
Yeah, and same thing for me. Once I got enough clients to cover the cost of my GoHighLevel subscription, that was definitely a sigh of relief. But then I was still working my full-time job, and the time in between me finding and signing clients was way too long. I wasn't happy with how long it was taking. But I'd say once I finally quit my full-time job and started working part-time, and I could really put in a lot of good hours into it, and then, let's say I signed a client, and then I don't know how long it was late until I signed my next client. But I guess once I started signing clients within close proximity to each other, and I had a lot more time, and you figure stuff out as you go. So maybe even like maybe even like 4 months ago is where it really clicked, and I was like, okay, I can scale this at an okay rate.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That realization that you can really make this work is like the best feeling. I remember whenever I became positive on, paying off that subscription and actually making money for myself, that was like literally the craziest feeling ever. Um, but yeah, so we only have two more questions, and one of them, this is something that this is like really the whole reason why we're here is to talk to the younger audience, also inspire people who are just starting out. But what would y'all say is the best advice to give someone that's under 21 to start with Go High Level? Like, what would you say to them if someone walked up to you, they're under 21 and they're like, "Hey, I want to get started. What's like some advice you can give me?"
Okay, I'd say just take action. You're young, you've got like a whole life ahead of you, right? You might as well take the risk now, get that Go High Level subscription, and learn the software in and out, know how it works, and just go out there, see anyone that could, I guess, like benefit from a website and all that Go High Level has to offer. And I mean, go to anyone. Like it could be family, it could be friends of family. Do anything you can just to break even, take as much action as possible. Again, especially as you're young. Um, Another thing I would probably say, let's say, yeah, I'd just say make sure that you like understand Go High Level and not become an expert, but know it to a point where you know what you're doing, and to a point where your clients will actually start seeing results. I think if you've got that set in stone, then I think you're all good to start making some money.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've just said. I'm going to take a bit more of a zoomed out approach on it. So not specifically just go high level, but
Hmm.
um, I guess a bit more of like, your day-to-day life. Um, so there's obviously no such thing as a get rich quick scheme, like whether it's this business model or any business model, you need to put in the hours, you need to be dedicated towards it. And yeah, you got to put in consistent hours, whether that's every day or every week. And one of the biggest things that helped me was cutting out all the bad habits or pointless shit from your life. So like, if you're spending 3, 4, 5 hours a day on social media, if you're, you know, spending your free time just watching YouTube shorts, of course, sitting down at the computer and trying to do outreach or trying to learn Go High Level is going to be hard. Um, or if you're not sleeping good, if you're eating shit, of course, doing this is going to be hard. Like one of the things that really helped me was cutting out the bad habits and making the work easier to do. because I feel like I was stuck in a stage for ages where I was just like, oh, I really want to make this work. I really want to make this work. I guess thinking more than doing. Um, but yeah, once I cut out the bad habits and made like made sitting down and being able to do the work easier, that's when stuff really started to take off.
Yeah, I'd like
Yeah,
to add to that as well.
go ahead.
Like during the periods of growth of my agency, like I've had two really good periods. Like right when I started, um, like everything was like amazing, right? I'd be signing clients like every like two clients a week, maybe even more a week. And that was when I had, I guess, good habits in place. I'd be cutting out distractions. I wouldn't have like apps like Instagram or anything there just to distract me really. Uh, then was also a good time when, I was going to the gym. I had basically a good routine in the day that set me up for success. And, the times where I guess my agency was a bit like I guess maintenance. I wasn't really doing much with my like revenue and stuff like that. It wouldn't be growing. It wasn't like shrinking really. Those were the times when I don't really have the best habits in place, and I've actually realized that. Even more recently, I've been picking up my good habits again, and that's really when I've seen growth. Because I'm like putting in more input, and I'm getting more output out of it. So yeah, that's something I would definitely look out for.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're under 21, number one, you're most likely living with your parents. You're most likely working a part-time job. And so those two things are a huge, huge, huge recipe for success if you just put and stop wasting time and put it towards something that's going to matter. If you're going out at night and you're wasting time, you always say yes to hanging out with your friends. I'm not saying you never hang out with your friends, but there just has to be a certain point where it's like, no, like you need to lock in and get this stuff done. That's why also like me personally, I have majority of my friends are business owners. And so we all respect each other's time. Like we don't just kid around, no, nothing like that. We'll go play basketball. But other than that, it's like business. We'll bring our computers, we'll work together on just random stuff. So that all is a good mixture to be able to do this. Versus the older people that are doing GoHighLevel, they have a mortgage, they have rent, they have kids, they have all that stuff. So I really do think whenever you're younger, this is the time. Go ahead and get started. My dad has been in sales for I think like 15, 16 years or something like that, maybe longer. And him and my mom actually met at a sales job and they were like 18 or they were actually like 19. Yeah, 19. And they were doing sales jobs and they said it was like a slave shop. Like it was just dial, 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 dial like all day long. And they would have like competitions, and it was like a flex if you got a deal, this, and that. So it was only so long ago that this was like a common thing. Being young, cold calling, talking to business owners, all that stuff. So if they were able to do it then we could for sure do it now, especially with the technology that we have. So I think that speaks volumes right there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's
as
never
the
been so
oh, go
easy
ahead.
to make money online. Yeah, it's never been like so easy to
Hmm.
make money online. I definitely think that this business model, like software with a service, is
Hmm.
probably like one of the most easiest models that you can get started out in 2025. So I definitely recommend that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Um, And so another point, just to touch on that also, how easy like online money is. With this model, especially if you're doing just like a regular marketing agency where you do one-time website deals, um, you know, you have to restart at every single month. Versus this, you're still getting paid for every for signing a client on a long time ago. You're still getting paid for that. You're getting that monthly recurring revenue, and you don't have to start over from zero. Same thing with Amazon FBA. Same thing with I don't know, other business models, drop shipping. You have to start over from zero every single month. Whereas this, you don't even have to close any deals, just the same money. As long as businesses don't close or they stop paying you, you're going to make that same amount of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, moving on to the final and last question. If you had to start your marketing agency over to zero clients, what would you do first? So to pretend like your white agency just got wiped clean, how are you going to rebuild it?
I would probably just cold call. Honestly, just cold call, cold call, cold call. approach as many people as possible, whether it's like your local area, people that you already know, like friends or family, that I've already mentioned. But do anything that you can to get clients and break even as soon as possible. Um, and then from there, it's just, keep putting in the work and building that MRR. And yeah.
Yeah, if I had to start from zero, I'd definitely say just start with cold calling. Like there's a bunch of different outreach methods that you can do, but I definitely think cold calling is great when you're starting because you're building up your sales skills and building up your cold calling skills. And then, like we touched on earlier, I think you should build a few free websites at the start so you can gain experience, gain confidence, and get some testimonials. Another thing I'd say is don't get shiny object syndrome. Like, don't watch a bunch of different YouTubers and don't look at a bunch of different offers. Just pick one, get success with it, and then once you have seen firsthand, like it's good to watch YouTube, but I don't think you should really focus so much on what five different people are saying. I think you should learn what you need to do, go in, do it, implement it, and then make changes based off what you've seen. So yeah, don't get shiny object syndrome and jump around and just do the thing, put in the reps and yeah, take action.
Yep. Yeah, both great points right there. For sure. Those are great. Yeah, I mean, cold calling, like Eunice said, definitely a great way to go. You can't go wrong with that. That's literally the number one way, in my opinion, to grow your agency. And then also what Tommy said, don't get distracted by, oh, try this or look at this and, hone down on something and, master it. And then, you'll be all good to go from there.
Yeah,
But
just to
yeah.
quickly touch on as
Mhm,
well, you'll learn so much more from doing it than watching hours and hours on
mhm.
YouTube.
Most definitely. Great point. But yeah, that's all the questions I had. And sounds good. We went over a lot of great stuff. Eunice, how old are you?
I'm 19.
19, Tommy?
21.
Oh, you're 21. Oh, well, I thought you were 19
Yeah.
also. That's why I told Eunice earlier. Okay. So yeah, Eunice is the youngest one here, and Tommy, same age as me, both killing the game. And so that's why I want to bring them on here today. If you're young, you got to get on it. Tell them, both of y'all. Yeah,
You gotta get on
inspire
it,
them.
man.
Yeah, you definitely got to get on it. So
Cool.
hope
Yeah.
this pod. Oh, go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like I touched on before, it's a grind. It's gonna take a lot of hours. It's gonna be really difficult in the start to get it going and get to put in so much effort and so many hours, but it is so worth every single hour and it's worth all the blood, sweat, and tears because ultimately, once you get that client, you're getting paid monthly based off all the work that you've put in today. So it is so worth it.
Yep, for sure. Well, all right. That concludes the first episode of the podcast. I hope y'all enjoy it. In my school community, in the link in the description, you can join it and you can actually DM both Eunice and Tommy if y'all have any questions for them, and they'll be more than happy to conversate with y'all. So sounds good. We're done.
All right, peace.